Hello guys, this is Professor AutoCAD here. The series of events we're going to be talking about today happened in Texas, USA. More specifically, a tiny 25 acres land in Texas. Just such a small wasteland, and the area around Interstate 25 leading here has a creepy name: the Texas Killing Fields. Since the 1970s, more than 30 women have been killed or vanished within the area. So the locals call this area as the Highway to Hell. It all started in 1971. A 14-year-old girl, Branda Jones, gone missing while visiting her aunt. The next day, her body turned up in this wasteland. As the second largest state in the United States, it is not uncommon for people to disappear in Texas for decades. But what is strange is that there were many who disappeared in different areas, yet their bodies would end up here. The most recent body was found in 2016. This girl's name is Jessica Kane, 17 years old. One night in 1997, Jessica was driving home in her dad's truck after dinner with a friend, but she had not been seen ever since. The car she was driving was found abandoned on Interstate 45, but Jessica's body wasn't found until 19 years later in the Texas Killing Fields. Many believe that the Texas Killing Field is the place where several serial killers committed crimes or dumped their victims' bodies. Most of the victims were aged between 10 to 25. They all have similar physical features and even have similar hairstyles. Despite the best efforts of the Texas police, even FBI agents were involved in the investigation. But these homicides in Texas Killing Fields have a shockingly low crime-solving rate. So, there is even a saying in the local area: if you want to get rid of someone and don't want to be caught, the best place to start is the Texas Killing Field. Rhonda Johnson, age 14, and Sharon Shaw, age 13, went missing while walking along the beach in Harris, Texas, in August 1971. In 1972, the remains of the two girls were found in a swamp in the Texas Killing Fields. Rhonda's remains were relatively intact, but Sharon's bones were scattered everywhere. A local man named Michael Lloyd Self was prosecuted in 1972, convicted in 1975, and sentenced to life imprisonment. Michael has a crime record for sexual crimes, but after he was imprisoned, he has been appealing that he plead guilty after being tortured. Interestingly, the two police officers who arrested, interrogated, and prosecuted him were sentenced to 50 years in prison for robbery in 1976, but Michael's appeal has always been denied by the judge. Until 1998, the famous serial killer Edward Harold Bell admitted in prison that he killed the two girls, and he was able to describe in details, many details that the police did not disclose to the public. But the court did not investigate any of this. At the end, Michael Lloyd Self died in prison in year 2000. November 1971, Maria Johnson, 15, and Debbie Ackerman, also 15, hitchhiked after buying ice cream and went missing. The bodies were found 2 days later at the Texas Killing Fields. The half-naked bodies of the two girls were tied side by side. Brooks Bracewell, age 12, and Georgia Gear, age 14, disappeared from a convenience store of the Interstate 45 in September 1974. In 1981, their bodies were found in a ditch in Texas Killing Fields. In 1983, 14-year-old Sondra Ramba mysteriously disappeared from her house near Interstate 45 and the Texas Killing Field. When she disappeared, the door of her house near Interstate 45 was open. The food was still heating in the oven. Her clothes and wallet were left in the room, and she herself just disappeared, and no one knows if she's still alive or dead. Around this area in October 1988, Suzanne Renee Richardson, 22, worked the night shift. Disappeared after leaving the night shift at 6 a.m. Only people nearby could vaguely hear a woman's cry for help. Police later only found one of her shoes in the parking lot. She has completely disappeared ever since. In 1996, 13-year-old Krista Baker ran away after a quarrel with her family. Not long after, she called the family to apologize at a convenience store near the area, hoping that the family could pick her up. But when her father came to the convenience store, she was already long gone. Her body was found 2 weeks later. She was severely beaten, sexually assaulted, and brutally strangled to death. Well, actually, her body was found in a river at that day, but local police didn't figure out her identity until 2 weeks later, and that was all the police could do. They failed to find any useful clues to catch the killer. Just a month later, 12-year-old Laura Smither was kidnapped while jogging. 17 days later, a father and son found her naked and decomposing body in the grass while walking the docks near the Texas killing field. Many people believe that the reason why Texas killing field has become a parasite for murderers and abandoned corpses is related to its special geographical location and climate. It is humid and hot all year round, and the corpses are very easy to rot, which is very convenient to cover up the leads and clues left on the bodies. And it is very easy to reach there. Just drive off Interstate 45 and follow a dirt track to this area. Drop the body off, kick the gas, and the cops will never find anything. The above-mentioned serial killer Edward Harold Bell wrote to the police in 1998, admitting that he had killed 11 girls in this area, but prosecutors believed that the letter he had written was not enough to prove that he was the murderer, so he was never indicted for the Texas killing fields cases. In 2015, 58-year-old Texan William Lewis Reese confessed because of the DNA evidence proving that he has killed Tiffany Johnson, 19, Jessica Kane, 17, Laura Smither, 12, and Kelly Cox, 20. Around 1997, police found the remains of Jessica and Kelly under his identification. He was already supposed to serve 60 years in prison for kidnapping before confessing to the 4 murderers. However, due to the extremely slow judicial process of the United States, his sentence has not been handed down till now, but many hoped that it would be a death penalty. In April 2012, 16 years after the tragic death of Crystal Baker, her murderer has finally came to justice. Kevin Edison Smith was arrested in Louisiana for drug trafficking in 2009. At that time, DNA technology has been widely used in solving crime cases. After the DNA test, it was found that Kevin's DNA matches with the DNA left on Crystal's clothes. So, Kevin was charged with first-degree murder. In 2012, only half an hour of discussion, the jury unanimously found Kevin guilty and sentenced him to life imprisonment. But apart from these few detected cases, the police have not made much progress, and there are still a considerable number of women and girls who have disappeared in this area. Since no body has been found so far, they can only be considered as missing persons. At the same time, many female corpses have been found in Texas killing fields and were difficult to identify, and finally became Jane Does. These cases eventually went cold. In 2011, there was a movie based on these events, and the name is Texas Killing Fields. When the movie director came to the real place where the body was found to collect materials and inspirations, he said, "When you're standing there, although you can see the machines in the oil refinery in the south, and you can also see the cars coming and going on Interstate 45 not far away, but no one asks for help. No one can really hear your cry for help, and there is nowhere to escape, only despair." Well, great, that's all for today. If you like my channel, please accent the like button, follow my Instagram account, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. May justice be served on time, and I'll see you beautiful face next time. Bye.